Hi guys, and welcome back to Organic Chemistry IUPAC naming. So we already did a video on the alkanes, which is the basic introduction into the IUPAC naming. And today we are going to be looking at the other homologous series that actually contain functional groups that have to have preference when we are giving the name. So let's jump in. So in the previous video, we started by naming the alkanes, which are only hydrocarbons that contain single bonds. So it was the introduction, very simple. And now we're going to build from that. Because in organic chemistry, we have many different families of compounds called homologous series, each with its own functional group and name ending. And we already looked at this in the previous video, where we saw that when I name my organic compound, the name normally consists of three parts. It won't always have a prefix, but it will always have a stem and a suffix. So remember, my prefix tells me how about the substituents and their positions. The stem tells me about the number of carbon atoms in the main chain. And remember, your main chain is the longest continuous chain that contains the functional group. In this case, we didn't have a specific functional group when we looked at the alkanes, but now we are looking for a specific group of atoms called the functional group that are characteristic to each homologous series. So the stem now has to contain that functional group, and the suffix, which tells us which homologous series the compound belongs to. So here's the list of all the suffixes for the different homologous series. There is a table in my study guide that summarizes this very nicely. So sometimes students feel overwhelmed because there are so many homologous series. But the good news is you don't need to memorize a completely new naming method for each one. They all follow the same structure. The only thing that changes is the suffix. The only one that's different is the esters, and we will tackle the esters in the next video. So even when the functional groups are present in the other homologous series, we follow the same steps. Firstly, you find your longest carbon chain, but this time it can't be any chain like with the alkanes. Remember, alkanes still have a functional group, but it's not, the whole molecule has just single bonds. So that's why I say we're not looking for a specific functional group. So this time there is a very specific functional group, a very specific group of atoms, and that needs to be in your main chain. So, and use your highlighter. Highlight your main chain. The second step is to number your carbon chain. So in this case, your substituents don't have to be the lowest possible number. Your functional group must get the lowest possible number. The only time when this doesn't matter is when you number, if you number either from right or left and your functional group still has the same number, then you start looking at your substituents to get them the lowest possible number. But in the case of the other homologous series, your functional group has to get the preference. And then you identify your substituents and their positions, and then you go and write your name. So remember, prefix, I input all my substituents and their positions. Remember, even if a substituent falls, two substituents fall on the same carbon atom, even if they are similar, if they are the same substituent, you need to name it twice, and you just put the die in front of it, or the try, or whatever. And then you input your sem and then your suffix. But remember, your suffix shouldn't only put the type of homologous series, it should also indicate the position of your functional group as well. Remember, if you write this name, a person anywhere in the world should be able to look at that name and draw the molecule. So it has to have all the information. That's why I have all these rules. Okay, so that's how it works. And the most common mistake that kids make is numbering from the wrong side. So if you just remember to get your functional group the lowest possible number, then you'll be fine. So let's look at a couple of examples. So let's look at this example. So immediately I see this hydroxyl group, which means that this molecule is a alcohol. So I can immediately know at least that my name should end in a ol. I just need to determine the position. But before we do any of that, I need to find my longest carbon chain, and that it has to include this one. So it can't go like this. It has to include the carbon that is attached to this one. So this would be my longest carbon chain. Remember to look at options where it goes up or it goes down. It isn't always necessarily a straight chain that I look at. Now I should number. So if I number from this side, my functional group would be on carbon number 1, 2, 3, 4. But if I number from this side, it would be on carbon number 1, 2. So I'm going to number from this side because I have to give my functional group the lowest possible number. Okay, and now I can start writing the name. So I'm going to start with my prefix, the substituents, and their names and positions. This is why I like to highlight my main chain, because this one is easy because it only has one substituent. But if there's more than one, you can highlight them all so that you don't miss any substituents. And especially if it's the same substituent, like if I have two methyl groups, I can highlight them the same color so that I remember I have to put in to the prefix that there are two of them. So the position of my substituent is on carbon number 4, and it's a methyl. Okay, no other substituent, so that's all I do. And then I can go on to my stem, which is the number of carbon atoms. There are 5, so it's a pent. And then they changed the rules whether you should put an in there or whether or not you shouldn't put one in there. I like to put that in there because it just sounds better to me. But yeah, I know they changed this rule one time in the matric exam, so just make sure with your teacher whether that's still important or not. And then the suffix, but remember I need to, that is the type, it's an alcohol, my homologous series, but I also need to input its position, and that's on carbon number 2. So this whole thing is split up quite a bit, so maybe you guys also write it like that in your exam, and you just, what you should do at the end, because sometimes you do it piece by piece and then you find that there's a gap over there. So rather write it out again. You can do it in pencil and write it again, or if you did it in pen, just make like a tiny thing over there to show that you know this is one word. Remember, all your letters should always be next to each other because it's a name, it's one thing, and you just link those two, the numbers and your letters. So make sure that there isn't a gap there, that you either show them you know it should be one word or you write it again. So this is the name of my molecule. 4-methyl pentan 2-ol. Let's look at another example. Okay, so this is going to be our last example. If you want any more examples, please, there are a lot of them in my study guide. Okay, so let us see what is the longest chain. If you do it this way or this way or this way or this way, it would have the same number of carbon atoms. So I'm just going to choose the straight one, and it contains my functional group, so I don't have to worry. Now I number my chain. Let's see, if I number from this side, my functional group would be on carbon number 1, 2, 3. If I numbered from this side, it would be on carbon number 1, 2, 3, 4. So I would rather number from the left side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to highlight my substituents. So here I have a methyl and here I have a methyl, 2 methyls. Okay, so when I'm writing my name, I'm going to start with my prefix. I have a methyl on carbon number 2, comma, and number 5. And remember, to indicate that I have 2, I have to put the di in front, dimethyl. Okay, so, and even if that carbon or that methyl group was on this carbon as well, you would have written 2, 2 and dimethyl. Okay, and so that's all my substituents. Now I can move on to my main chain, which is 6. So it's going to be hex. And now I also need to write down the name and position of my functional group. It's a ketone because my carbon oxygen double bond is inside the chain, not at the end, making it an aldehyde. This is a ketone and it's on carbon number 3. So it's 3-one. And there you have it, everything you need to know. In the next video, we are going to be looking at the esters.